Father Louis Scurti with Friends of the Word, and this is where I am, in Galway, Ireland. And I'm honored to be here today at the Galway convent, monastery of the Poor Sisters.
Poor Clares.
The Poor Clares, they're not Poor Sisters, they're wonderful, enriched, beautiful sisters here at the monastery of the Poor Clares in Galway. And my guest today is the head Novice Mistress.
The Novice Mistress, yeah.
And Sister Colette.
Sister Colette.
Nice meeting you,
Nice
Sister.
to meet you, Valerie.
Actually, we just had breakfast here in this room, and there's a little bit of an echo because it's one of the visiting rooms in which guests come to greet the sisters or their relatives. And my focus today is going to be in introducing you to the Poor Clares here at Galway. So most of the questions are really directed for information's sake, because today, 21st century, what is a Poor Clare? Founded by St. Francis's associate, St. Clare. And Sister's going to give us a full description of what life is like and what the calling vocation is like, to be called from the world into this beautiful, beautiful area of contemplation. So, Sister, thank you first of all, thank you very much for allowing us to come in.
You're very welcome.
Mass was beautiful this morning.
Thank God.
And now, Father is the celebrant each day, the Franciscan
Yes,
priest?
he celebrates, the Franciscans celebrate for us all the time. There are chaplains.
Great,
And yeah, it's wonderful because they're very close to us here, and our confessors, and so we're very close to the Franciscans.
The location of this convent is on
An island.
an island,
In
and
the
what's
city
it called?
centre, Nuns Island.
Nuns
Very
Island.
appropriately.
It's in the shadow of a cathedral. The
Yeah.
cathedral you can see as soon as you enter, you exit the door. But
It's
beautiful.
really the heart of the city.
It is,
It's
it
very
is.
close to the city centre and the central street in the city. But it's like a nucleus. As you say, we're under the shadow of the cathedral. St. Nicholas's Church also, the
Right.
Church of Ireland Church. The university is over here, the hospital is here, the presentation school is there, the Bish School is there, the city centre is there. So it's really a hub.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
When was this convent founded?
We came to Galway in 1642, yes. And this actual building was 1825. But we came to Galway 1642. There was persecution of the church in Ireland at that time. So the sisters had been in Athlone, which is the centre of the country.
Yes.
And they had to flee there. They were chased away. And so they came to Galway. Some of the sisters were actually from Galway. And they were given refuge. So 1649, so 7 years later, they were given the gift of this island, Nuns Island, as a gift in perpetuity from the city.
Wow.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Was it called? It wasn't called Nuns Island then,
I'd say it was called after the nuns, when the nuns
Right,
took
right.
possession of it. It's also called Ilanaltanuk in Irish, which there's disputing, people not sure what that means, but it might be something to do with swans.
Oh, okay.
Allah is swan in Ireland. So it's still called that in Irish, Ilanaltanuk. But it is actually an island.
It
in the
is
city
beautiful
centre.
because we crossed over the bridge to
Yeah.
get here.
So 1649, they were given the gift of the island. And then 1659, 10 years later, they had to, the persecution came as far as Galway. And so they had to either renounce being sisters or leave the country.
And they were
Or
Poor
go into-
Clares then too?
Yes,
They
or
were
go
Poor
into
Clares.
hiding.
Okay.
So some of the sisters stayed in the city centre in Market Street in hiding, and they wore secular clothes but continued. It was the only way they could continue the way of
Yes,
life.
sure.
And the others fled to Spain. They had to take refuge in Spain.
Okay.
And then they got back, some of them got back, some of them didn't. Some died on the way, some died in Spain. We have lovely accounts of the Irish sisters that died in Spain in the different monasteries that they took refuge in. And then I think it's a miracle we even got the island back.
Yes.
1825, it was just before Catholic emancipation, and this building dates to 1825, and we're here since.
What a history.
Not all of us are here since.
No, I didn't think so, Sister. There were two things I promised Sister I would not ask: how old she is and how long she's a sister. So I'm not going to touch those areas.
I can't even remember.
It's a very, very, very short time though. Okay, tell me, what is the attraction that you had to this life? And then we'll talk about young women today, but
Okay.
what
Well,
attracted?
it was prayer, I suppose. I had a deep experience of God's love for me personally, and that just changed my life. It was not always on my horizon to be a nun, I can tell you that.
And you were living here in Galway.
Yes, yeah, and I went to the university here, and I loved my life. I had a good social life, boyfriends, friends, you know, and I felt very content. But still, there was some unfulfillment there. And then, as I said, I had a very deep experience of God's love. It was very brief during Mass, but I just knew that that was Jesus at the consecration.
Excellent.
It was amazing. And that has never left me. And it just, with that conviction, came the conviction of the power of prayer.
I want to hold that thought just for a second. I think our audience, all of us have to realize that God speaks to us. Sister just described a very personal experience during the consecration. You've had that too. All of us have it subtly, sometimes profoundly. It doesn't come every day. It's not a regular basis. But God speaks to you, and He speaks to each of us to carry on our vocation, whatever the vocation is, single, married, religious, it doesn't matter, and calls us to a greater fulfillment in His kingdom. Be aware of that. Be aware of it. I can't say when it's coming and to whom it's coming, but be aware that God is speaking to you, and He does speak to you on a regular basis, but sometimes in these profound seconds. But let's get back to Sister.
Okay. So, as I say, it was a conviction of the power of prayer. And also a sorrow, I suppose, in my heart that so many people, you know, or that, you know, faith is declining and just people not aware of the centrality of Jesus and the love of Jesus. And with that, just a line, I remember reading a line that St. Francis had said, that he went through the woods one night crying that love is not loved, love with a capital L. Well, that really touched my heart. And I felt that I was open at that stage to whatever the Lord wanted me to do, even if it was to become a nun. Still wasn't, you know,
That's
on top of the priorities.
Right.
But I was open. And that was, I suppose, the line that really drew me to this way of life. Excellent. The sense our life is, we have adoration of Blessed Sacrament every day. So we're focused on adoring the Lord. Absolutely. And I felt to be a loving presence for the Lord. I know, you know, it's just a powerful presence, even in our own families. You know, if you have a sick family member, you're so grateful for the medical staff that do all the looking after. But if you have somebody there that you know loves you, you're not trying to put on a performance. They're there, they'll keep away the people that you're not able for. So just a loving presence. That's great. Yet I found that when I came in, I suppose I thought I was doing this big thing for God, giving Him my whole life, and yet I've been the one that has been the recipient.
You received it, sure. Okay, the Poor Clares were here, and you lived in the area, so you knew of them. Why the Poor Clares and not another religious order?
I suppose I just was attracted to the Franciscan charism, and you know, I was involved in the Franciscan Church in the folk group that they had, and I used to go to a prayer group, a young people's prayer group. There could be 100 people there at night, and the priest that was coming to it was a Franciscan. So he had a big influence on my life. I was very inspired by him. And I suppose at the start, the only order I knew of that was dedicated to prayer was the Poor Clares. So I always knew it was prayer. Okay. And I always felt it was the Poor Clares. The question was where.
That's right. But they were in your backyard.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't think this is where I was going to come, Galway, but I just felt at home in this monastery when I came in the door.
What was the process that one followed then to become a Poor Clare?
Well, I suppose I was discerning with my spiritual director, and if somebody feels that they have a call, it's very important. Spiritual direction is very important. Yes. And then I used to come and meet Mother Abbess, and she was lovely. And then the fears I had, I suppose, or the different inhibitions started to subside, and I just knew the Lord was calling me. So then it was a matter of deciding to actually just do it, because you can keep putting it off. Right. And so I entered on the 31st of May, the Feast of the Visitation. My mother hoped that would be what it was, that it would be a visitation. Because they found it very difficult. My family found it very difficult.
That's true. That is quite a challenge on families.
Yeah, it is, because it's the individual themselves that has the vocation, that has the calling.
Yes.
And this grace goes with that.
Yesterday, not to interrupt you, but yesterday, we're coming in to see Anne. It's a Sunday, and other families are coming, and some of them had food, baskets of food, and a beautiful cake. So, is that how they visit their family members here?
Yes, but yesterday there was an event on here, so people were bringing food for that. Yeah. But yes, like we live on divine providence. I suppose the fact that we're in Galway for so long, there's a long tradition of bringing alms, bringing food to anything that we need. We don't go out shopping, and so people just bring us what we need, or if they come to the door looking for prayers, they may ask us if there's anything we need. And so we're very, the people of the city, there's a mutual relationship, really.
And this has been going on for hundreds of years.
It's just amazing, you know, to see how the Lord works. Little ways even, you know, you'd just be amazed.
That's beautiful. Okay, we're going to interview Sister a few minutes, then we're going to come back and get into the life of the sisters, but not yet. Go back to the families. Most families' reactions to their daughters coming into the monastery. Well,
it can vary. I mean, some don't find it so difficult. Some are proud of their daughter. But increasingly, I think, when it comes to a religious vocation of any type, the families find it very difficult. Maybe smaller families in that it's more difficult. But I think when they see that you're fulfilled, that you're content and happy. When my family used to come to visit, my dad would always, he went through a phase of this anyway, he'd say, "Are you happy?" I used to hate it. Because, you know, you have good days and bad days.
Sure, it's life.
But still you're content, you know it's the right place. Yes. And so then I remember reading an article, and the title of it was Happiness versus Meaning.
Oh, beautiful.
And I said, that's it. I read that, so I photocopied it, and I gave it to read it.
That's it.
No, just to him, because it was a joke. Like, you know, it became a joke between us. Are you happy? Because happiness is something that comes and goes. Joy is much deeper.
Yes.
And joy can coexist with sorrow and other things. And so the deeper question is, has your life meaning? And that, for me, that was the answer for my dad.
That's great. And that's going to be our pause. I'm interviewing Sister Colette. She's Novice Mistress here at the monastery of the Poor Clares in Galway. And we're going to have all of the information regarding the monastery on our site, and with subsequent contact information, as well as their website, etc. Because I want you to know, and I want you to pass this on to your friends and anyone interested, male or female, but of course this special edition of Friends of the Word is directed toward women in the 21st century. This has been Father Louis Scurti with Sister Colette here at the Poor Clares of Monastery in Galway, Ireland. And we'll be back. God bless you, and keep the Word alive.